I think we start with the live stream.
Oh, you have to.
We have to.
It took up so much of our lives and our time today.
Clayton, were you today, all day, putting aside your work, putting aside your relationships, feeding yourself, putting all that aside so that you could sit at a computer or, better yet, on your phone, watching as Marvel every 15 minutes revealed a director's chair with an actor's name on the back of it to say that that person will make a cameo appearance in the Avengers Doomsday? Is that how you spent your day?
Absolutely. I had a big opportunity. I had a big lucrative opportunity I can't get into because obviously, well, I mean, I'm not going to spoil the story, but I guess I will. I didn't get it. And the reason being is because I had to watch this live stream.
You had
I
to.
mean, I had to.
Got to see these chairs line up one by one every 15 minutes with an actor's name on it. I mean, if you are an MCU superfan, today you were eating up there.
Yeah.
You were eating up there watching this live stream. You had your Pringles, you had your pizza, you had your phone, and you're just watching chair after chair after chair, side by side. No people in the chairs, Clayton. What do you think of that decision that Marvel's 8-hour-plus live stream contained no human beings, only chairs with names on the back of them?
I mean, I think it just brings the anticipation to a fervent level where if you don't see people, then you're imagining, oh my gosh, how cool is it going to be when they sit in the chairs?
Right. When they sit in the chair in front of a green screen to film their cameo in this gigantic movie.
Yeah. It's like Chekhov's gun. What is it? Chekhov's gun or what? No,
Chekhov's gun.
Is that what it is?
If you see the gun and someone eventually, you'll get shot.
And that's the thing with the chairs.
Yes.
Someone's going to sit in those chairs. You don't show a chair without eventually somebody sitting in it.
Well, here's something I was thinking while I was, of course, also 8 hours straight, foregoing any relationships, any work, just to watch this MCU live stream of chairs with names on them. The empty chairs. And I was watching this and I was thinking, whose idea was this? Because you got the Russo brothers, they're been brought back, crawling back, whatever you want to say. They're back in the MCU. I don't think this was their idea.
No.
Here's who I think was running this MCU live stream today. Someone who has been insulted, shunned by his home studio of Warner Brothers. I think this was Clint Eastwood.
I was going to say, who is famous for conversing with empty chairs?
Yep. Yeah. I think this live stream from the MCU was a Clint Eastwood production. I think he came in and he was the one who said, guys, empty chairs.
Did we miss the announcement that Clint Eastwood has jumped studios to Disney and will be directing a Marvel film?
As I was watching this procession of empty chairs for 8 hours straight, and I was eating up there because, of course, you can't get better entertainment than 8 hours of empty chairs being unveiled every 15 minutes.
Yeah,
I was assuming the last name on the final chair would have to be Clint Eastwood.
Yes.
Because empty chairs is the domain of Clint Eastwood. He is the guy who made empty chairs famous.
He does one take.
Yep.
And he talks to chairs, empty chairs.
Yep. Those are his two things.
That's how it'll be remembered.
Yes. Empty chairs, one take. That's all you need to know.
Gene Hackman only has one thing, Popeye Doyle.
Yep. Clint Eastwood has two.
Yeah.
He does one take, and he does empty chairs.
Yeah.
So his name was not in the procession of empty chair names today. It was, the final name was Robert Downey Jr. So.
And wasn't he in the chair? I think Robert Downey Jr. actually was in the chair.
He was in the chair.
Yeah.
Okay. I will admit, I did have to move on before we got to the final chair.
Yeah.
I tried to get all the way to the end, but it was too much excitement for me.
Yeah.
And I knew if I stayed watching this 8-hour live stream to the very end, listen, I'm in great shape, but even for someone like me, that might be too much excitement for my heart
strain,
to take.
Yeah.
So then I did have to go towards the end to just read names off a list.
Yeah.
I do wonder, do you think there were MCU fans who today that started their day with, I'm going to watch all 8 hours of this live stream, of this procession of empty chairs with names on them. And they got their Pringles, they got their pizza, they're ready to eat up there. And by the end, their heart gave out because this live stream was just too exciting for these MCU fans.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's the way this could backfire.
Right.
Is that you already have a fan base that is, I would say, on the unhealthy side.
Mm-hmm.
And when you couple that with just the bevy of names
Right.
that they were revealing,
Right.
that's dangerous.
It is, because there was a point in this live stream where they unveiled in a row these names: Kelsey Grammer, Rebecca Romaine, Alan Cumming, and James Marsden, all in a row. And
I grabbed my chest.
Right.
You can't, you if you're not watching, you're not getting the whole story, obviously, because we're YouTubers. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
I grabbed my chest.
Yes.
Approximately where a heart would be.
Yep. Yeah, right in the middle. So you might be off a little bit.
Yeah.
But close enough that
Yeah.
we got it. We got it. You made the accepted heart, gesture. Yeah.
Clutch. Yeah.
And that's me just saying those names to you. Imagine
seeing a chair with the name on it.
Exactly. Every 15 minutes where you've waited.
My arm is numb.
Right. And that's what a lot of people went through today.
Yeah.
Every 15 minutes, a different empty chair unveiled on a live stream with a new name. And you're looking at Kelsey Grammer on the back of a chair. You wait 15 minutes, and then it's Alan Cumming.
Yeah.
And you're again.
And then you're coming.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Had to do
I didn't have to. But I did.
He did it. And
sorry.
That is what
sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad.
Hey, guys. That is what these MCU superfans were going through today.
Yeah.
And I think this live stream got a lot of publicity.
Yeah.
You just hope that tomorrow it's not the bad publicity where there is just a rash of heart attacks all over the country with people dying, exploded hearts and their phone in their hand.
Yeah, yeah.
And a slice of pizza in the other hand, and they land face first into a batch of Pringles.
Yeah. I mean, so I who the other person I thought about was our superhero expert, David Thompson.
Yes, of the
Direct
Cinema Spending podcast. Yes.
And listen, I hope today wasn't his anniversary. Because imagine he's watching this live stream and ignoring, who knows, I don't know how long he's been with his partner, but say it's like 10 years.
10 years. Today's the 10-year anniversary of David Thompson. Let's just say.
And you're celebrating with whatever 10 years is, like copper, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. And you were going to go.
I think it's rubber.
Okay, so you were going to go to the dump and like
get a tire.
Get a tire. That's what you do, right? If it was copper, you'd go to the empty house down the block and
start
tear out
wires.
stripping wires.
Yeah.
And so he's like, he had so much to do. He's a busy man. He's got podcasts. He's writing articles. He was like, this morning, I'm going to get up. I'm going to go grab that tire.
Right. 10-year anniversary, rubber anniversary.
It's huge. And then all of a sudden, what pops on, his screen? He gets this email, live stream.
Today, 8 hours of empty chairs being unveiled.
And he's staring at empty chairs, and he's, writing articles, and he's doing. I mean, listen,
he has to.
He has to.
That's how.
But how do you explain that?
Right.
Right.
I mean, you explain it by saying, "This is the life that I've chosen," and you knew who I was when you married me.
You knew who I was.
You knew who I was.
I mean, I would say don't raise your voice, but like I'm just doing it for dramatic effect.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
you knew who I was.
Right.
You knew who I was when you.
Right. You don't want it,
but don't do that. But that's
what's underneath.
That's what's underneath.
You knew who I was. I'm the guy who I have to watch the 8-hour live stream of chairs being unveiled with names on the back.
Yeah.
And so there were people who I think were injured today trying to watch this out of pleasure. There were people who this was their job where they just couldn't stop watching. Like obviously I was able to stop watching at some point. We're not covering only comic book movies, comic books. So, we were able to. But there were people who were not afforded that. 8 hours, they had to watch these chairs being unveiled.
Yeah. I mean,
God bless them.
Yeah. I turned down a lucrative offer.
Yeah.
But,
there'll be others.
There's going to be others.
There'll be other people who are saying, let me wire some money into your account and don't ask me about why.
There's so many suckers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I would say in the end, though, after all these chairs with names on the back were unveiled, to me, nothing shocking about any of these names. I mean, most of these names were people who have been in Marvel movies already. Did I miss anyone? There was not a Tom Cruise.
No.
There was not a name.
Jack Nicholson.
There was not a Jack Nicholson. Were there names that people would have wanted to be in there that weren't who had previously? There was no Chris Evans coming back. There's no Chris Pine. Was he a name on a chair? He was not.
No.
Hemsworth was the only
Pine
Chris.
was never in the
Pratt.
Oh, Chris Pratt.
Yeah. So there was no Chris Pratt. There was no Chris Evans.
No.
There was a Chris Hemsworth.
Yes. He was the first that you knew, because it's like, what else is he going to do?
Exactly.
There's absolutely nothing other than his fitness app. He could double down on that.
Right.
OnlyFans or join Thunder from Down Under.
Right.
Which is what I think he will end up doing.
Yeah. I mean,
the all-male naked dancing review, Thunder from Down Under.
That could be what he does in Avengers Doomsday, is they just cut to a Thunder from Down Under Vegas review to show that this is what Thor's up to. Now we cut back to the Avengers in action.
Yeah.
And it's a way of promoting his residency at Thunder Down Under.
Yeah. Chris Hemsworth, brackets Thor, will return.
Yeah.
On these
Thursday
tour
night.
dates.
Yeah.
Yeah. For Thunder.
Yeah. At Fontainebleau. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those names were, I would say, underwhelming in the end. Obviously, the reveal of Empty Chairs as an act is an incredible presentation thought of by Clint Eastwood. But the actual names, especially ending with Robert Downey Jr., who
we already knew,
who already had the big unveiling when he put on the dime store Dr. Doom costume at Comic-Con last year. You're ending on something that had already been a big announcement. Again, it's like, if you're going to do this, I feel like you got to have a Tom Cruise in your back pocket, or else what's the point?
The big one was Channing Tatum, but obviously that was a cameo in the Deadpool Wolverine film.
Right.
So that was sort of a surprise, but not really, because there had been a lot of talk about how he wanted to do Gambit again, and there was so much buzz that it would sort of be a missed opportunity if they didn't have him.
Yeah.
I think the big surprise was all the old X-Men actors coming back.
Oh, yeah. Ian McKellen's coming back. Patrick Stewart. Kelsey
Rebecca
Grammer.
Romaine.
Yeah.
So
Marsden is back.
Yeah.
Marsden should play his character from the Sonic movies, though.
Yeah.
I feel like at this point, that's the more marketable Marsden, is him saying, hey, I just came from hanging out with Sonic. Obviously, you can't show Sonic in these Marvel movies because that's a Paramount property. Of course, that was a big Bob Iger regret, as he didn't buy Sonic. Go back to some of our original B.O. Boys episodes where we walk through that. But Marsden in this Marvel Doomsday movie saying, hey, I just came from hanging out with Sonic. Maybe you have to bleep the name out. But still, that I think that's better than, who is he? He's the guy with the laser in his eye. Cyclops, yeah.
I mean, there's been times where, say, they've had a character. So Richard Dreyfuss reprised his Jaws role for Piranha 3D.
Yes.
But I don't think they ever used his name.
But we knew.
And speaking of Gene Hackman, Popeye Doyle, R.I.P., rest in Popeye, he supposedly was supposed to be the same character in Enemy of the State as he was in The Conversation, but they never used the name.
But we knew. We knew.
So they can do that again.
Yes.
He's just the guy that hangs out with Sonic.
Yes.
Because he could be like, my fast blue buddy.
My fast blue buddy. I was just hanging out with my fast blue buddy, turns to the camera like I'm doing here on YouTube. wink.
My FBB.
Hey, guys. Yep.
I was with my FBB,
Yep.
my Fast Blue Buddy.
And then he could say, later on, I was just hanging out with the hedgehog.
Yeah.
And then Deadpool could come in, make a porn reference.
Yeah.
And then be like, different hedgehog.
Yeah,
Deadpool.
the different hedgehog.
Different hedgehog.
Yeah, that one got canceled.
So, right. And they would inform James Marsden's character of that in the movie. He didn't know.
No, he didn't know.
So, yeah, I guess that's an interesting thing for the Marvel super fans that these old X-Men are going to be back. But again, even with that, I think that was all pretty expected. I mean, Patrick Stewart was in the Doctor Strange Mouth of Madness
The
movie.
unexpected
Kelsey Grammer, didn't he do a cameo or he mentioned the X-Men on the Frasier reboot? Like, I feel like he was also already being brought back.
I think the unexpected thing is the X-Men's involvement in an Avengers movie. I think that's what it is.
Right.
I think, and in the fact that they're going to continue to use these original X-Men characters the way, when they tried to do First Class and then nobody gave a shit, basically, with that timeline. So they had to bring the old ones in. It's like, that's what's happening with Marvel, is that they just don't have confidence in any newbies. Now, they a lot of the Thunderbolts cast is coming back for this movie because the rumor is that they're going to be the actual Avengers. Like, the asterisk means that they're actually the Dark Avengers or whatever.
Okay.
And so...
Which is not bad Avengers, that's just like...
Well, they are bad. I don't want to get into this
let's not
crap,
get into this.
And you don't. You definitely don't want to get into
definitely
this.
do not.
That question you probably would regret asking if I went down a rabbit hole.
Okay.
And all the fanboys, I know, they're yelling at me. Don't give yourself heart attacks. You just watched 7 hours of empty chairs. Sit down, calm down.
Yeah.
All right? And send an email tomorrow after you're well rested.
Yes.
Okay? Because I don't want any
Never
of your heart
tested.
attacks, your coronaries on my head.
Yeah.
Put that on the Russos and Downey and Clint Eastwood.
And Clint Eastwood, yeah. Yeah, because he definitely orchestrated this. Okay, so that was the live stream. I mean, we're going to be dissecting the fallout of this live stream of Chairs probably for weeks and months to come. This is rocked, I would say, Hollywood to its core today, this live stream of Chairs with names on the back.